The Notorious, the Amazing, the GOAT, TLB. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me on the show. I appreciate what you do here, man. And
Man,
I'm just ready to get this interview on.
absolutely,
Yeah.
man. You're fighting on June 15th, and you're fighting Bruzo. So let's start with, your nicknames. What was the origin of the Notorious and the GOAT?
For the Notorious, I low-key stole that from Conor McGregor completely. They call him the Notorious Conor McGregor. I basically stole that from him because he came into the UFC. He changed the way a lot of stuff was, and pretty similarly, I did that a lot for Regal. Before I came, people under 18 weren't really allowed on professional cards. I was the first person under 18 to main event a professional card. I feel like I changed just the way the game runs,
Hell
and
yeah.
dominated for a while. Just
If you win, well, more or less when you win, because honestly, if we're being
you
honest,
know me.
you have a pretty good track record. How are you gonna celebrate?
Like I said, I'm probably just gonna tuck him in. He's gonna be out cold. May say a little prayer for him. Make sure he sleeps all right. But other than that, it's not gonna be too much. It's not that much of an accomplishment beating him.
Nice, nice, nice. And what are you gonna do after the match? How are you gonna celebrate the win?
Probably just gonna, get a few hookers. Usual.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. 100%. Listen, we know you've been here for a minute. Um, why do you want to win this? What's your
This is
motivation?
just purely for legacy. This doesn't get me anywhere closer to getting another title shot. This is just to put on my resume to say that I gave him a chance, even though he really doesn't deserve it. This is just what I feel like the GOAT should do. Just, give people a chance, show how good he is. That's what I'm gonna do. This is purely for love of the game, not for anything else. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Should Bruzo be here?
he honestly he hasn't proved himself enough to be co-main eventing against someone like me. He was chosen to be there. He was a backup option. Mantitz was in his spot first. It is what it is. He's a good fighter, but at the end of the day, he probably shouldn't be up on this stage this early in his career.
How do you feel about your opponent?
He's a cool guy. For a while he was my son basically. All his usernames were based on me. I love TLB 14. And he's a cool dude. It's just I gotta do what I gotta do. People are saying he's the next person coming up. I gotta let them know that they're wrong. Gotta show them who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely do. You're quoted to say, "I gave you this position, little bro." Okay, you've said that in the press conference. Okay,
I did. I
do
did.
you regret saying that? Like, how do you feel about that? Do you not regret it? Do you think you hit the nail on the head? What do you think?
I don't regret that at all. It's completely true. And if you know anything about the game, you know that's true. Mantitz pulled out. Met a big chief. He messaged me. He said, "Hey, who do you want?" I said, "I think Bruzzo. I feel like that's who the people want to see fight." So I picked him. At the end of the day, he was chosen to be in this fight. He didn't do anything himself to get himself here. It was all because of me. I picked him. He was chosen. It is what it
So,
is.
so he's
Even
kind of
Connor's
like
the
a
same,
nepo baby in this kind of scenario.
basically.
I see. I see. Are there any comments on Bruzo losing to Memes VR?
I don't know much about that loss. I didn't really care about Bruzzo back then. He was kind of just like a little trash can, a little easy win. So I didn't really care much about it. I'm pretty sure it was a DQ loss or something like that. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. That was a long time ago. Hopefully he's improved a lot since then, or else this fight's not even going to be anywhere near competitive. Not that it was in the first place. It's going to be a pretty easy night.
Now with Bruzo, he's been historically rude to pretty much everyone. Do you think that's the reason no one wants him to win?
Yeah, that's definitely a big part in it. People really don't want to see him succeed because he's got this entitled attitude about everything he does. I'll fix it for him. I'll show him. I'll show him he needs to learn some respect. But I feel like
Absolutely.
that's the reason a lot of people are hating on him.
What would you say to Bruzo if he was here right now?
I'd say good luck to him. I respect him as a person, but it's just business on Saturday. I gotta do what I gotta do.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a fight. Can't lose. I already have one loss on my record. Can't have another one. It's what I gotta do.
Mm,
Purely business.
absolutely. And that loss was to Koo, correct?
It was a long time ago. It was was a pretty major upset. Got a lot of people down that night. A lot of people were rooting for me. Feel bad. I'm not gonna let that happen again.
Absolutely. Well, this has been TLB. He'll be fighting Saturday, June 15th for the Regal Summer Classic. Absolutely amazing. Thank you for coming out, man. Here, let me shake your hand.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you for having me on here, man.
Absolutely, man. Good luck.
Appreciate that.